Go.
That back is real blown out. Sorry. We'll delete that. You gonna start or you want me to start? 3,
Let's go.
2. What's up, everybody? This is another edition, the 3rd edition, matter of fact, of Young, Gifted, and Black. And matter of fact, nothing could be farther from the truth than what we have right now. This man is young, this man is gifted, and of course, this man is black. But man, we're so happy to have Written Quincey on with us, man. He is a poet, he's an activist, he's a written word spokesman, he is a father. He's a bunch of stuff, man. And but most importantly, he's impacted Tulsa in a way that only he can with his voice. So, man, we're happy to have him.
Respect.
Yeah, man. Good to see you, man. So it's crazy. I was just talking to him about this, but a few months ago, we were having a really great conversation. He was in one of our What's Happening Tulsa segments called Your Morning Joe. And after that interview, it was like, man, like we just got into this crazy conversation, really deep and in-depth conversation. And we told him, like, man, one day we're gonna put this thing on wax, man. We're gonna really do it. So it's cool that that's coming to fruition at this time. So, anyways, you know my boy Ben.
Yep.
Another young, gifted, and black individual.
Look at this guy.
Shouting my dogs out.
So we about to get this podcast going on, and I don't even remember when we first met, Written.
Damn, man.
Do you remember that? I think it was maybe Cypher 120 phase.
Nah, I think it was before that. Wasn't it? It was
Let me ask you something.
Because we
Were you
met
involved
through
in that Martin Luther King video? No, I don't think
No.
Man, how did we not get you in that? Yeah. Okay.
But I know
I met Claire first. I felt like Claire was the one who brought everybody together, like the
Rodriguez.
Yep.
Yeah, Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I think that was the video when we first met. Yeah. Well, it was at Cypher then. It had to be.
It had to be.
Yeah.
And since then, I just remember you just rocking the stage back to back at the creative room. And for me, that was like, who is this guy making this big movement in Tulsa? Because every single Monday night, you guys were packed.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't like half-ass type stuff. These were the people who really grew up on art.
Right.
Where did that even begin for you?
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, so the beginning came from my people, like my grandparents, man.
Yeah.
My maternal side, I would say. All of my great grandparents, well, you know, my grandmother and her brothers and sisters, like everybody sang, painted, drew, or something like that. And as kids, we had to play an instrument, we had to draw something, you know what I mean? We had to, you know, just be artistic, man. We loved it though, you know what I mean? Everybody in the house did, man. We was always coloring stuff. Like my grandmother, man, she would always, whenever we would come over, she would make me sit down at the piano and she would say, I want you to sing, Jay.
Sing what?
She would play, Jay.
Oh, Jay,
know, sing Jay.
Yeah.
So it would be like, you know, she would play something. Of course, it was like some old gospel stuff. Man.
What else
and I was like, I was like, oh, I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't. It just was like the most beautiful thing in hindsight. You know what I mean? I'm thankful to her for that. But, you know, she paints, she draws, she sings.
What song did you sing whenever she played it?
Man, it probably was like some old Negro spiritual or something, though. You know what I mean? Like
More than likely.
some old church stuff, though. You know what I mean? Cause she sing like Mahalia Jackson, that kind of old kind of style, though. You know what I mean? So it was like something that I was not feeling. I was not feeling it, you know, as a youth, man. But because of that, you know what I mean? Because of going to her house and always seeing her drawing something or seeing her painting something, seeing them sing all the time, man. I didn't realize that the seed was being planted. You know, I thought it was rap that I wanted to do because that's what I loved. That was our generation, you know, the 80s and everything. That's what caught my attention. But I love to write, even at kindergarten. So the seed that was planted in me, that artistic side, you know, I could draw a little bit. I can do, you know, a little bit of that painting and stuff. You know what I mean? I like to do all of that, but my vein was the pen, the paper. So my mom told me this story about when I came home with this story. My bad, real quick.
Yeah, no,
came
please.
home with this story. like we had to make these stories in these little white books. I don't know if y'all had to do that, man, in grade school, man. All right, boom. So they had these little blank white books that they gave us, and we had to come up with this story, right?
Like a blue book.
It was.
Where it's just blank pages?
Yeah.
You got write-ups?
Yeah, right, whatever you want. Come up with a story. You know, you had to draw the cover on the front of it. This is like kindergarten or first grade. And I came home with this story about this man eating plant. You know what I mean?
Eating what? Plant?
Man eating plant.
Okay,
like,
man
you know
eating
what I mean?
plant.
I don't know. I can't even remember the story, though. But she said I brought that story home, and she called up my uncle. And they laughed for like 3 hours about the shit that I came up
Oh,
with.
do you still have it?
Yo, I'm gonna ask her, man. I'm gonna ask her. Like, if I can find that, man, I'm gonna let y'all read it. Like, first grade. I don't know what I was
Really
saying.
enjoy it live.
Like, come on, see what this is, bro.
Yeah, something like that, man. So, I guess that's when it started, though. But, you know, my grandparents, man. So I'm extremely thankful. Extremely thankful for that seed that they put in me, that artistic seed, because I love art, man. Ultimately, that's the last, well, it's like the way that, you know, that we create. I feel like we're created in likeness of the creator, and that's the only way that we're able to try to reproduce, man. You know what I mean? None of this stuff is new under the sun. We can just try our best to do something with it, you know what I mean? Like with architecture, all of this stuff, none of this stuff, it all came from the ground, man. So the way that we use that is through art. So,
What changed you from thinking about being a rapper to being a poet? And both of them just
I couldn't rap. Yeah, at first I couldn't rap. Like, I wanted to real bad, you know what I mean? But, you know, everybody was trying to freestyle back then, and my mind just didn't move that fast, man. It still don't move that fast, you know what I mean? It's a little better now, I guess, because I mess with it, but...
That's interesting, bro, because, I mean, I've heard you on a few occasions, and the way that you're able to deliver it, not only that, but your wordplay. And
it's a little better now.
Okay,
Respect.
And
thank you.
With written word, it's just like you really, like for me anyways, I really have to focus. Like I can't be looking around, I have to like close my eyes and like listen to what you're saying.
Right.
You know, because you pull from so many different topics, and you pull from so many different emotions, and you create this story that's on the surface, it just seems like words. But when you really listen and you really zone in, you understand that there is a story. So for me, and maybe just in your opinion, you know, we are our worst critics sometimes, but for me, I'm like, man, this dude is crazy. You know, with the lyrics and the way that he delivers it, and the confidence in which he delivers it. You know what I mean? So I mean, I've always, you know, admired the way that you're able to deliver a message.
I appreciate that, brother.
You know, using your words, you know, but also using, you know, your history and the things that you grew up with, things that you observed as you were growing up. You know, so that's crazy that you say that, you know, your mind doesn't move as fast as you think it does.
And like you said, that confidence came later. You know what I mean? That came a lot later. Like, I didn't think I was good. You know, I would write stuff, send it to, you know, little girls in my class. Not little girls, but, you know, my friends. Like, yo, I want you to read something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't make fun of me. You know what I mean? Kind of stuff. But the confidence came a lot later. I'm still working on that confidence. You know what I'm saying? But
so were you still a poet in high school, or
that's when it started.
That's when it started.
Now
let me ask you something. So it's very difficult for, I would assume it's very difficult for black men to say, I don't rap, I'm a poet. Did you say that you were a poet?
I didn't have the confidence. It was like, I would write though. You know what I'm saying? I would keep it to myself though. You know what I mean? And I was doing it before. Like, I loved it. You know what I mean? I loved writing, like coming up with stories, but. Like, I never told anybody about it. You know what I mean? I just kind of kept it to myself. Like, it was, like you said, man, it was like nobody wanted to read no stories. Like, you know, it was play ball or, you know, or rap or something like that, man.
And poetry was not in that mode.
Nah. You know, and I was like, kind of like a nerd in the sense. I mean, we had to carry around them big old saxophones. Me and my brother had to carry around them instruments.
I used to play saxophone.
Yeah, and I had this old beat up one I didn't appreciate. You know, I wanted the new one, you know, everybody. But that was in like elementary school. But then in middle school and high school, like it started to change. Where it was like, I wanted to rap, but that wasn't me. Rapping wasn't me. Like, it wasn't coming out that way. You know what I'm saying? And tried to freestyle. I remember freestyling at some parties, people booed me and shit.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like, laughs. My brother still make fun of me to this day, man. But like, mine was mine was like poetry, and I started researching that, and like that was the stuff that I loved to read the most. You know what I'm saying? And then I'd always liked memorizing lyrics to songs. You know what I mean? And I didn't realize that was the poetry that I liked. You know what I'm saying? I was always into lyrics, not beats. You know what I mean? I wanted to hear what the people had to say. So I was in love with it the entire time. You know what I mean? And I wanted to try. I felt like I could do that shit. Like they was doing it. And I'm like, man, I know I could do this. You know? So
who did you look up to as far as in the poetry game? Like who inspired you?
Oh man. The Harlem Renaissance was a huge influence and a huge inspiration. Like honestly, like I would say, like hip hop was the poetry that caught me first, though. You know what I'm saying? Like in school, you're introduced to
everything.
Yeah, Maya Angelou and Langston Hughes was the number one. You know, especially Black History Month. Yeah. It's just
you heard
like
about those people.
Yeah. And then being from Ohio, Paul Laurence Dunbar had a huge influence because he's from Dayton. So I liked his stuff. Those were like the poets, but again, like I wasn't feeling like that style of it. You know what I mean? The literary form. So for me, it was like memorizing Slick Rick, like seeing his the imagery in his raps. You know what I mean? And the way he's told stories and. Who else would I listen to?
That's interesting. So you didn't necessarily pull from poets. I mean, you did, but for the most part, because hip hop was your first love, you were able to pull from rappers, but transform it into poetry.
Absolutely.
I mean, I guess
and music,
poetry.
period.
Music, period.
Yeah. Because R&B, like I was like I loved it though. Like I said, my people sang, so we would have to listen to these words at church. You know what I mean? At home. So it was like when I started paying attention to it, you know what I mean? Not until later on that I realized that was actually poetry that caught me. But yeah, it was like Slick Rick, Children's Story was one of the first songs that I memorized. And I remember going to this summer camp and hopping on the bus, and I remember like I'm the only one that knows this song. I remember it was like probably like '88 or something. I can't remember when it was, but we got on this bus to go to this church camp, and I'm like, yo, I'm the only one that know this song. You know what I mean? So I hop on the bus, and then I'm like, singing it, and then like 3 other dudes start singing it too, and I'm like, damn, man, I thought I was the only one that had it memorized, but yeah. So it was imagery. Like I love imagery. You know what I mean? Being able to see the picture of what it is that we're saying, and like Slick Rick was one of the first ones, and my mom would buy us these 45s, man. Like the records, the singles, right? And we had this little record player, then we would just go like this on it. When she wasn't in there.
Because you're really messing up.
Tearing it up, bro.
Like, really.
Tearing up the needle and everything. Like, you know what I mean? But we was having fun with it. So, So, I'm trying to think.
It's just a medium.
Yeah.
Because I think almost same thing as video, what we do here. It's just like we're just using a medium of telling stories, utilizing the camera to tell imagery that we want to showcase.
Absolutely.
Even though there's a sub language to it.
Yep.
It's not on the surface that's right in front of, hey, I'm trying to make this scene sad by shooting up like this. Somehow you manage to take the English language or whatever language and tell stories, vivid stories. Now I gotta see inside of my head.
And that makes it even more difficult because what we do is we show a picture, you see it.
Right.
For us, for you, in written word, we have to see it in our minds. So it's even more important for you to paint a picture for us.
Yeah. So that's what happened. So when my grandmother would paint, and I'm like, all right, I have to do that with my words. Like every time I say something, people have to see it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's one thing to be able to go back and press rewind and to play it again, but if I'm gonna do this for you one time, like you gotta be able to see. And you gotta remember
real talk
everything that I'm saying. You know what I mean? I have like 3 minutes to paint this picture, a lasting picture that you would never forget, So
see, smell.
Yeah, absolutely. All the senses, man. I'm glad that you said that too, man, because that's one of the things that I tell my students, man. Like when we're painting these pictures, like we have to utilize the strength that we have to tap into those five senses, and the more that we tap into those, the more real it becomes. Sure. That experience becomes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you can do that by reading something, right? You know what I mean? You can like you'll read something and it's talking about, I don't know, the sweetness or the bitterness of a fresh grape. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you'll go like this, like like you can taste that joint, like your mouth will do that. Like yeah. So. Yeah, and it's emotions, you know, tapping into emotions, like being able to piss somebody off, being able to make somebody like mad or to bring tears to somebody's eyes. And the reality of how powerful that is just words, yo.
Yeah.
It's just letters on the page, and you mean that could make me want to go do something crazy or whatever it is, not even crazy, you know, something profound, you know what I mean? Change the world or something, man, or negatively or positively, you know what I mean?
But based on your observation,
Right.
You can cause others to feel how you feel, and to think that how you, even for a moment, for a moment in time, you can be on one accord based on the picture that you paint.
Right on.
I think that's so powerful.
Do you think that your success in life in general has came from your wordplay? Because think about this.
That's funny.
Like this is me here starting this podcast to learn how to communicate better and to have stories where I can really base my opinions on a little bit more about life and change my opinions as well, hopefully in the process. Yeah. But for me, it's learning how to communicate my ideas to other people. You have took that craft and you know how to utilize it to hit all five senses. I'm just talking on an audible level. Have your success in life multiply because of your way of talking to people. You understand the English language a lot more than I do.
Right. Okay.
Have you seen that before?
Yeah. Okay. So success, right, is subjective, right? Sure. So I think that I'm still working on being successful, right? So I guess the recognition that I've gotten up until this point, which I'm extremely thankful for, right? I think it has a lot to do with it. You know what I mean? Like I came to Tulsa that's 12 years ago this month. So, and coming here, like I started hopping into the poetry scene because I didn't know anybody. So it was like, I have to socialize, you know what I'm saying? Like I have to, and I'm gonna go crazy if I'm staying in this apartment, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. But I do realize that the recognition and a lot of the accolades that I've received, it has to do with the way that I communicate. And I'm thankful for that, you know what I mean? So I hope I answered your question.
So I'll even take it a step further, like even in relationships, I don't know how far you want to talk about
it's all
on
good.
relationships, but it's like even more, you know, the power of what words can do. Like you said, it can hurt you, it can motivate you. Do you utilize that in your relationships with girls, with family, all that stuff?
Man, I just fucked up the other day. Yeah, it is though. Word. Nah, I ain't about to go into that. Man, it's okay, all right, boom. So
because I gotta choose my words carefully in
respect.
My
Yeah. And I was gonna say this being able to with this craft, this gift, I guess, right? I have to listen more than anything. And I mess up sometimes when I don't listen, right? I think like one of the things that you said is like some of the, you talked about a lot of the stuff that I observe, I talk about in my writing, right? So I think that's our biggest teacher is everything that we experience, everything that we observe, you know what I mean? What our senses, how our senses break down, you know, all of this stimulus that we go through on a daily basis, right? And to be able to communicate and to articulate the way that those stimuli, how we receive them, right? And how we analyze it, how we break down that data and to be able to communicate it back, to be able to explain that. You know, not everybody can do that, right? So So it's helped me ask more questions, right? Being able to write. Like I have to ask questions. I have to listen. I have to listen to my body. You know what I mean? I have to listen to my eyes. Like yo, like why do we like this? Why does she look so good? You know what I'm saying? So we talking about relationships.
Right.
Like why, like why you ain't said forget her? You know what I mean? Because she look good. You know what I mean? She bad, number one.
Right.
Dumb fly. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to say peace to that shit yet because you kind of like that.
Yeah.
It look good to have it around. You know what I mean? And it feel good. Like you know what I mean? Like in the physical sense, like it feels good. Like baby feels good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You rub on her ass or something, and it feels good. We fellas, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and even in a more if it like a little bit more complex, like maybe not even that much more complex, but it's like the feeling that they give us that's not in the physical sense. You know what I mean? In the figurative sense.
Yeah.
It's why does she make me feel this way? Like why can't why can't I say bye to her? Why can't I say get the fuck out?
Yeah.
And even when you do, it's just like, come back, please. I made a mistake. Like, this is why, like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, look,
and then you got to go through and ask yourself, is it because I miss her or I don't like being alone?
Yeah. That's huge, man. That's huge. Yeah, and that's understanding you. You asking yourself questions. You got to listen, right?
Yeah, and that's why I respect, real quick, and that's why I respect poets and comedians. I was listening to Steve Harvey years back. And he was talking about how certain people, comedians specifically, he was saying, we've got this third eye. And we're able to kind of remove ourselves from the situation and kind of look at it from a bird's eye view. And see what it really is. And I firmly believe that some people are able to do that, remove themselves from an experience and see it for what it really is, as opposed to living in the experience and just acting off of emotion.
Absolutely.
So and also being transparent and being open with yourself and saying, this is who I am, this is what I feel, now let me find out why I feel how I feel. Right. And I think that takes so much courage.
I agree.
Because a lot of people don't want to dig that deep.
Yeah.
And because they don't dig deep, they are a prisoner to their emotions.
And they hurt other people around
them.
And
they hurt other people around them.
Without even noticing.
Without even noticing. And I don't know if y'all have been a victim to that, but I, for sure, here in these last few weeks, have definitely been a victim to emotions and acting off of those emotions, as opposed to removing myself and saying, okay, this is what it really is. And asking myself those difficult questions.
Respect.
And I think a lot of people are fearful of asking themselves those questions because of the answers that they may get. Are contradictory to what they feel.
Righteous.
So I applaud you and others like you who are being able to, number one, be transparent and open with themselves, because that is the hardest person to be honest with. It's your damn self. But two, not being a victim, and obviously we do it to a certain extent, but not being a victim to your emotions. So I respect that, man. That's
and we learning it. You know what I mean? Learning it every day. Like I've invested. I've tried. You know what I mean? So I guess that is a compliment to where I've gotten. But I'm not done though. You know what I mean? Like I'm still learning. Like I fucked up yesterday. You know what I mean? Probably fuck up tomorrow. You know what I mean? But it's the rhetoric and the logic that comedians and poets share is very similar when it comes to being able to do that. Like,
it is a talent, bro. It really is.
It's very similar. You know what I mean? Of course, comedians do it in the sense where it's more satire and they're doing it to make you laugh. But you know, even the best in making you laugh is making you think.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You know, the most successful comedians, you know, that we want to look up. You know, the ones that make you think, though. It's like, damn, it's hilarious, but I ain't even think about it like that, though. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't lying. And I'm just gonna say it. I was just about to say it. My dog Dave Chappelle. He can have some crazy skits, but to every joke, there's a bit of truth to.
Right up.
And the way he brings it out, it's just like, man, like that was funny, but that was also real.
Like, should I even laugh?
Should I even? I'm supposed to laugh. You know. But you got guys like Kevin Hart who are funny, but they don't make you. He doesn't make you think.
Well, I guess they do. It's just different.
It's just
the
different.
Style is different.
I guess styles are different.
And
I guess styles are different.
And it's no. I get it. I get it. And it's just with you though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like we said, it's subjective, right?
It is
It's on the person.
Yeah.
And he does it's just a different way. You know what I mean? And the depth of it might not be the same.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's layers to it.
There's layers to
Yeah. So when we talk about the layers, I think the more depth that you have, like even in a poem, the more depth that you have in the utilization of your metaphors determines how successful you can be, because every time that you read it, it can be interpreted different. It gives a different emotion, you know what I mean? Just like with rap, like the people that we like listening to the most, at least us, you know what I mean? We all share similar, respect with similar artists. Yeah, like them two. Just examples, like when you listen to them cats, there's the superficial, right? There's what's on the top, but then it's just like, hold up, man, did you hear what he said? Like, and then it's just like, oh, yo, he was saying this, and then when you check with the author, or when you check with the rapper in this case, or the writer, it's just like, nah, this is really what I meant. Yeah. And it's just like, damn, yo, I wasn't even thinking about that. But the fact that we took like 4 different things, or able to dive 4 different layers into it, it's just, it make it that just much more smooth.
You made a comment earlier. You were saying that because of the way you were raised, the lyrics were more important than the beat.
Yeah.
And that is so opposite of what it is right now.
Yeah.
Where we're so focused on the beat, to where these rappers, and some of them, are saying jibber jabber, are talking that jibber jabber, and ain't nobody tripping.
Man, Cass was talking bullshit.
Man, that beat go
back in the
hard,
day
though.
too. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that beat knock, and it's just like, poetry and hip hop has changed over time so much to where the beat is more important than what we're actually saying.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to me that we've moved to that. But anyways, I'm sorry.
I hate answering a question that I'm gonna give to you, but at the same time, we do it still.
Go ahead.
But you talk about success and how, like we were talking about Kevin Hart versus Dave Chappelle. Even Dave Chappelle is getting money, 60 million. Kevin Hart is still making a lot more than that.
Right.
And it's just like when we talk about rappers now, these surface level rappers somehow making a lot more than somebody deeper. I mean, Kendrick Lamar is still already on a whole different level, but whenever we see shows from Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole is like versus these Gucci Mane or whoever. I'm really bad at names.
No.
I think Gucci Mane is actually good. But
we'll talk about that later.
But some other people.
Yeah. Drake, Drake, 2 Chainz, Migos. Yeah.
They got some great songs, but it's just like, man, how are they the top? Or people see them more than the conscience.
Damn.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
And success is relative to, hey, if you're more conscious, you're not for the mass media. You're almost in this small area, but we're thankful that you're there because there are people out there thinking versus this wide arena of people who may not be thinking but just want to feel good.
Let me I answer that now.
No, go ahead. No, because I wanted to think. No, I ain't no expert.
But
I ain't no expert.
I think when the narrative is turn up and get throwed and do all those things, that is the narrative already. So you look for music that matches that narrative.
Okay.
As opposed to having someone like J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar or some of these underground rappers who no one's ever really heard of. They're spitting truth.
Respect.
And that's more of a poetic form than anything.
Yeah.
It's just, we ready to turn up. That's all we care about. Because that's the narrative being pushed. I would wonder what the respect for those type of rappers would be if the narrative was conscious rap. And I think people like Chance the Rapper and J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar, I believe they're bringing that back. But it's a huge mountain to climb when a majority of rap and hip hop sounds the same.
Yeah.
And it's about turning it up, getting lit, doing all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie. And I think also it depends on where you are.
I agree.
If you at a party, if you at a club, I don't want to hear J. Cole. I don't want to hear Kendrick.
Right.
Give me that Future. Give me that Drake.
Right.
Give me somebody I can turn up to.
Right.
Now it just kind of depends on the setting.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So you.
No expert. Not an expert. Not at all.
I set you up.
Yeah, you did though. Yeah. So, all right. So I'm listening. You know what I mean? I've had these conversations before, like why ultimately is that style mainstream? You know what I mean? And conscious, what we want to hear isn't. Man, all right, so I really don't know, but my take on it, like my my hypothesis on this shit, we always gonna gravitate to what makes us comfortable.
Right.
Right, that shit's comfortable. It is.
Right.
Feel good.
Right.
It's all it is, feel good music.
Right.
You know what I mean? People been
Right.
making feel good music for decades,
Right.
man. That's all it is.
Right. I agree.
And
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? We could, you know, lift it up, downplay it or whatever, but it should feel good.
feel good.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And that's what people want.
Yeah.
Especially in America.
Yeah.
Like we would rather feel good and be comfortable than to be anything else. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, ain't nobody going, yeah, they ain't gonna change that shit up because that's what we want. We just wanna feel good.
Yeah.
Right? Music, that arena is no different than social media, right? It's no different than any media outlet, right? Medium, even in that. It's yeah. What's always what we're fed the most is what feels good, man. Fast food. That shit feel good.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? This America, man. Everything that we got, that's pushed is what feels good.
Yeah.
But if the shit don't feel good, if it make you uncomfortable, not too many people want to deal with it. Because we talking about some real life shit. Even though we all go through real life shit. That's the irony of it.
Yeah.
Like we all go through real life shit. So like, why don't we want to talk about real life shit? I think we want to get away from real life. We want to escape. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
And some of us live in that world for too long though. You know what I'm saying? Like damn, what's that one movie, man? It's where they go DiCaprio when they go
Inception.
Yeah.
Inception.
It's like that, like
Yeah.
the deeper that you go into it, you can't come out of it though. You know what I'm saying? So you always want to feel good.
Yeah.
So you ain't gonna never address your real shit.
Yep.
So you walking around here with this mask on, like we wear the mask that grins and lies. Like Paul Laurence Dunbar wrote this shit in like the 1800s. Poem about the mask that we wear, right? He was had tuberculosis, right? So he was dying, but he famous poem about the mask that we put on to cover up the real shit that's going on, right? So everybody in the world puts on a mask. Music is a mask, right? These cats can get 100,000, 100 million people to vibe with them in their music. I know they writing some other shit too. That ain't the only thing that they write.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every now and then you get some cats that's going, you know, come with something and then, especially now, right? With this YouTube, you know, fanaticism, it's like, boom. If I could get 100 million, you know, 100,000 likes, I'm on. Like, you know, that might be the only thing that they ever came up with. A lot of these cats are writing other stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So you can get 100,000 people to write, to vibe with you on that. I know you're doing some other stuff too, but you know what I mean, that's neither here nor there. But yeah. So it's it feels good, man.
Yeah.
And oftentimes we don't want to take that mask off because we're afraid of what we really look like, though. You know what I mean? And the more confrontational an element is, that we want to stay away from it more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the music, it's like we vibe with Kendrick. You know what I mean? A lot. Like the album dropped.
Yeah.
100 million people download it, you know what I mean? Or however many people download it. Like, we vibe with it.
Yep.
But do we want to listen to that all the time?
We're probably
Like, some of us do.
Yeah. Right.
There are a few of the million that went to download it will run that thing every day.
Yeah.
Right? Boom. But even for some of those, it's just like, it's too real.
Yeah.
I need a break.
Right.
I need a vacation. Like in
Yeah.
America, like we always want to get away from some real shit, man. I don't know why we like that though,
Yeah.
man. But
That's true.
it's
That's true.
yeah, we want to get away. We want to have fun. All right, now let's go have some fun. Like, you know what I mean? One of the biggest things that I noticed when I came out here and this woman that I was with, it was like, she would always say I was too serious all the time. Like, you know, we would have these debates and arguments and it would be like I just feel like I should be serious. That's just me. You know what I mean? I got a lot of shit I got to do. And hers was like, well, life is short. You know, you got to have fun. And that's what we differed. It was like she would want to have more fun than I would, and I would want to be more serious than have fun. I think we need balance, though. You know what I mean?
Serious or thoughtful?
Say that one more
Is
time.
it serious or thoughtful?
Yeah,
It's
like-
both, but it's thoughtful. I guess so. Yeah. But But yeah. And we're all different too, though. You know what I mean? There's billions of people. There's enough resources as far as people to tap into all of that. So right now, unfortunately, whoever's marketing this shit realizes that there's a certain group of people that like a certain kind of thing, and we gonna get them for life, though. You know what I'm saying? We gonna use them for life, though. Like with radio, with TV, they gonna have kids. We gonna get their kids. So I don't know, man. I mean, that's gonna be the lifelong question, I guess, especially when it comes to this hip hop music, man. This rap music. It's like, why is the conscious not mainstream?
Yeah. Did you ever struggle with that whenever you was growing up, from understanding that poetry was not the end thing?
Yeah.
So it's just like, hey, let me do something that everybody likes. Let me do what the girls like, instead of what I really want to do.
I would let my homies read it. They be like, man, Jay, why you writing like that, man? You need to say it like this. Like, people ain't gonna understand that. Dumb it down a little bit. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, and for years, it messed with me in my confidence, like you talked about. It was like, why do I need to dumb it down for them to understand? Like, and then I got to this point where I was so frustrated, and I was like, nah, fuck that. They need to get on my level. So I need to get more people on my level. Like, I get it, you know what I mean? We might need to, you know, make it palatable, right? Yeah, because y'all know about this. You know, doing the videos, like, you gotta give it to them in a way that it won't burn too much in the beginning. And it's not too cold. You know what I mean? It's not uncomfortable. You know what I mean? It's not too spicy. Like, you know what I mean? What level of spice is it? It's like, it's like a 3. Like American hot? Or, you know what I mean? Like when you get some Thai food, it sounds like, is it American hot? Like, but, and this, I don't know. I guess it's just the nature of us as human beings, man. We want something new, right? We want to try something new. I think we all do.
Yeah.
But it's that first layer of the uncomfort, the level of comfort that we have to get through, right? Some people's, the density of their first layer, you know what I mean, is more than some, you know what I mean? So, and that's based off of experience. They might have tried something new, got their feelings hurt, heart broke, you know what I mean, got burned or something like that. It didn't go the way that they planned. So it's just like, they layer become more and more dense. And so it's just like, all right, now we got to keep working on that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. My fear is that with what's trending right now, because hip hop is now pop culture. It's not, I mean, there's no difference between pop and hip hop. Like, hip hop is pop culture.
Right, it is.
Like, it's mainstream at this point.
Righteous.
And my fear is that, and I'm a victim to it. I love this type of music, but it almost gives you permission to act a certain way, as far as, you know, treating your lady a certain way, treating your friends, treating your job, treating issues in our communities. It almost gives you permission to not have to listen to those and not have to abide by those things.
I got you.
You can have sex with who you want to have sex with. You can smoke and drink whenever you want, wherever you want. You can do all those things that gives you credence.
Right.
Like, these artists said I could, you know.
And that becomes law to them.
And it becomes law to them. Because, like you said, it's a comfort zone. Right. And we always talk about how comfort zone is a very nice place to be, but nothing ever grows there. Right. You know, and it's this balancing act with hip hop, and that's why I've always had an issue with the greats in hip hop. It's like you put out one song that talks about supporting your community and giving back to that community and doing all those things, but then you come up with another song that has to do with selling weight and shooting and doing all those things by the same artist. And it's like, in your community, in your area, if you're influencing certain communities, which path are they gonna gravitate more so to? You uplifting your community, or you talking that hood shit that you're so good at talking? Right. You know, and it's just like, at what point do we get? Because I mean, this whole generation, this whole this time of being woke, it's like
I hate that shit.
Oh man, so we'll talk about that.
Woke.
We'll talk about that.
shit.
But like, if that is the case, if we're moving towards a woke state or whatever that really means, music is one of the most powerful tools to either accept being awoke or staying asleep.
Right on.
You know, and it comes from us.
Yeah.
The music that we put out, like degrading our women and not caring about our brothers and sisters. You know, it's just like, how is that really going to further our people? How is that really going to impact us in a positive way, as opposed to unite us? How is that going to unite us as opposed to just giving people what they want? Is it your responsibility as a musician?
I was about to talk. Go ahead.
Is it your responsibility as a musician to provide some value, and maybe the value looks different to different people? But like, is it your responsibility to uplift your community as opposed to, because a lot of rappers will say, man, this is just kind of my life, you know, I'm just talking about my life. And it's just like, I get that, but if you want the next generation to do better, then stop glorifying what you're talking about.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just spitballing, I'm just talking.
Yeah.
And I'll just finish off on
Yeah,
what
please.
you said before we head over to you.
Yeah.
It's just, I was talking to Eric the other day, and it's a progression almost like kids a little bit. Like,
Okay.
We're a product of our parents, of their mistakes and their successes. And hopefully we're piggybacking off them. We're better than the last.
Right.
So we should be better than our father. We should be better than our mothers.
Yeah.
And that area of success, because they passed off the baton to us with a lot of more information.
Right.
And so as Black people, are we passing down that information for us as a race to be even better? Are we heeding the words of, I don't know if we go back to Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all that stuff. How do we unite again versus we're all separated?
I think the money is too good. I think the money comes too easy for us to even want to change the type of lyrics that we put out, the type of music that we put out. Because like you said, they're gonna have this type of audience for life by putting this music out.
Right.
You'll always have certain individuals. And it's just like, man, having that large of a platform, do you have more of a responsibility? Do you feel like, and it's I guess it depends on the artist.
Right. It
Feel free to disagree.
No, and it's okay. Yeah. And I hope I think that will get a lot of viewers if we disagree.
Yeah.
But all right. So, like, my take on that is, all right. I think number one, as an artist, right, we take like what we observe, right? We take what we experience, and that's where it comes from, right? That's what our muse is, and that's what our inspiration comes from, is what we experience, right? So a lot of these cats, when they are talking about that, and it's different, you know, in some capacities, because some of these cats ain't even living the shit that they talking about. And that's a total different topic, you know what I mean? But
True.
let's just assume that they are talking about what they lived. So is it their responsibility, or is it the responsibility of not even just the listener, of the individuals that live in that socioeconomic demographic and that area to address them problems so that the artist doesn't have to talk about that shit. Do you get what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Okay.
So there's, like, if we're the artists, right? We talk about everything that's around us, what we see, what we breathe, what we taste, right? Everything, all of this stimulus that we get. Okay, is the artist the problem, or is the problem the shit that they get their stuff, they get their material from?
I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we know hip hop is almost 40 years in, right? So for 40 years, that's what, 2 generations, right? We know that people have been living a certain way because people are still talking about this same shit. They still talking about dope, they still talking about guns, they still talking about bitches and their music, and you know what I mean? And there's the language that they use, right?
Absolutely.
So in 40 years, has anything changed to prevent them from talking about this shit?
Gotcha.
Right? So when hip hop started, you know, it was the Reagan era, it was the 80s, so drugs was major, right? The inner city, the influx of drugs and crime, at least the way that they put the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when I say they, the media, how they want to portray it, you know, and this is y'all's responsibility. I mean, y'all got to make sure y'all tell the truth with this shit.
For sure.
So, you know, it was, the hoods was bad. You know what I mean? We know that people were poor, you know what I mean? Yeah. Where we come from Ohio, from Memphis, from Texas. So we know, you know what I mean? It's poor people everywhere.
Yeah.
And another thing is poor people make the greatest art in the world, you know what I mean? To me, that's, so, if the shit was bad then, right? And we still know people on drugs. You know what I'm saying? We still, you know, crime is still high. People still killing people, right? It was cats that wasn't just talking about, you know, killing each other or you know, it was cats talking about how the police was doing it when hip hop came out in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? They was pissed off about the way that we was getting treated as a race, right? We still dealing with this same bullshit. You know what I mean? We on the cusp of this right now in Tulsa. You know what I mean? Just getting this verdict. So people talk about guns and drugs, right? I get it. But they was raised in that shit. A lot of them, like you was talking about as the kids, right? Like we talk about what our parents do to us. We talk about what they tell us, right? We talk about what happens in our neighborhood, what happens at school. So if that's where your primary influence comes from, maybe we shouldn't be focused on what you saying. We should be focused on why you saying this shit.
Gotcha.
Why you rapping about this shit? Now, it's one thing for it to be fanaticized and glorified, you know what I'm saying, and to do it just because everybody's doing it. Like, we need to get rid of them motherfuckers. You know what I mean? They shouldn't even exist. But, you know, people jump on bandwagons. But the ones that I believe, again, are most successful is the ones that can tap into that shit because that's where they come from. That's the way they live, you know what I mean? And then it's like, with that, as artists, people gain intrigue and they want to know more. Like, damn, like I like what you talking about, how you doing it. Like, I want to see what that's like. You know, that's the power of art. You know what I mean? It's like we want, like by putting it out, it's like, damn, like, you know, if I talk about Tulsa enough and I do that shit in a dope way, like, people gonna want to know about Tulsa. They gonna want to come visit. They gonna want to be like, man, is this shit real like that? Like, even if it's good or bad, you know what I mean? If we talking about tacos or something, it's just like, damn.
I want to go get a taco.
Yeah, like, damn, the way they talk about them tacos, like, man, let's go get some tacos. You know what I mean? So, forgive me, I'm going off a little bit, but it's if we concerned, and that's us black people, man. We bad at that, man. We are very bad. Pointing the finger. Somebody always got to get blamed. You know what I mean? That's that American shit. We've adopted that. You know what I mean? But if we a village, man, we got to recognize it ain't one person's fault. It's everybody got some stake in that. You know what I mean? So we like to put a finger on a scapegoat, right? Because we want a leader so bad. You know what I mean? Like, they talk about that in our community, like, you know, there's no leadership. Like, why is it in our community we have to have leadership? Like, we have to have one or two people or a group of people that will lead us. Why is it so important for us, black people? Why isn't it that we are we're not talking about the entire community rather than one individual? You know what I mean? They whenever there's something bad, it's like, you know, where's the leadership in the community? Like, hold up. And I think that's one of the most interesting things. It's like, when something occurs in the black community, it's like we always are looking for leadership to stand up. I think that's a reflection and a testament to the lack of power that we feel, the voice that we have in each of ourselves, though. Like, you know what I mean? We look up to these rappers because, and these moguls and all of these celebrities, because we want that shit. We want, you know what I mean? We want to live like that. You know what I'm saying? But bigger than that, live like that. It's just like, that person wasn't afraid to talk or to put themselves out there to be vulnerable, right? That's the biggest thing, right? You know what I mean? When you're on TV and everything like that, it's like, Like that person's vulnerable. That's a difficult position to be in. Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people want fame. Like, nah, everybody can handle that shit.
Right.
And I'm not even famous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On this level that I've gained this recognition, like I don't want that shit.
Yeah.
I'm contradicting myself because I would like 100 million people to come by with me, you know what I mean? But when I'm done though, I'm gonna put my hood on though, like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna get, like, that's how I am, right? That's just how I am though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of ridicule that comes with that.
Yeah.
And not everybody got the balls to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, my bad, I've digressed a little bit. But yeah. So as far as the leadership and the music goes, it's, there's the rappers, there's the message, right? There's what's coming out, but why? Why are they talking about that? Maybe we should address upstream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We get upset about what the MC is saying, right? While the painter's painting the pictures, like, why are you always painting pictures about guns and women? Like, yo, that's what I got around me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you don't want me to talk about this shit, change that shit.
Yeah.
And then we move, right? Mm-hmm. They move out, you know what I mean, go to another neighborhood, you know what I mean, where the grass is a little different, you know what I mean, you can afford to run the water to keep the grass green.
Yeah.
When you come from a neighborhood where you couldn't even afford to keep the water on, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's, it's a lot, but.
Yeah. And so what you're basically saying is that as a whole, like Tulsa whole community, we can't just be like, hey, it's a black
world in America, not just Tulsa, but as a microcosm. But it's.
So we need the whole city to not just be like, oh, it's the black people. It's like, all right, how can we help these people? Make their life experience difference if we want to really see a change. Right.
But I was talking about with the comment that you made, though.
Yeah,
you know,
I get what you're saying. Because unfortunately, the only medium they have to communicate what's going on around them is their music. Yeah. So it's not necessarily their duty to talk about, to answer the question, why are we talking about that? That's for somebody else. But they can only express what's going on around them. Yeah. And it takes someone else to kind of communicate what they're really meaning. Okay. Maybe in a different way, so that, because a lot of people are going to dismiss what's going on in these communities because of its rap. Okay. Okay. Does that make sense? Yeah. So they talk about some real stuff that's going on in communities, right. But because it's rap and because it's hardcore and all this stuff, a lot of people are pushed away from it. Yeah. So and it's got a bad rap. And it's got a bad rap. Right. Yeah. Literally. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it almost takes people who are able to maybe communicate that better, or paint a broader picture, or do something to kind of go behind them and say, okay, this is what's going on. Yeah. And you can't be mad at this rapper because of what's going on in the community, because the system is set up like this. Yeah. And the only thing in their environment, the only thing that they're rapping about is simply what's in their environment. Yeah. And they can't help that. Right. They can't help that. So it takes other people who maybe are a little bit more educated or better at communicating or better at calling to action, something that needs to change, but it's not up to necessarily the rapper to do those things. Right. All right. So you got layers almost. Yeah. So, and it's not to say, and not to correct you, or no, please correct. But it's not to say that they'll articulate it better. Right. They'll put it in another form where those people that need to hear it that way will be able to understand it. Exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly. So this demographic of people over here understand it with rhyme. Right? Yeah. This people need to hear that shit with 4-syllable words. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're that way. Yeah. They're the greens and the blues, right? The language they speak. Yeah. These are the oranges over here. They understand it when we speak as orange. So, with the people that see blues and greens, they speak it in their language. Yeah. With the red, you know what I mean? The yellows over here, like they speak it in their language. So it takes for somebody to point it out. Yeah. Like, boom, I'm talking about it. Yeah. We dancing about it. But we only dancing about it because of the music. But, you know what I mean? But it's like... Exactly. I'm doing this. I have an agenda. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do it this way so that you can understand what I'm saying. But deep down, like, there's a hidden message that I'm saying. Much like comedians, like we were talking about. It's like to every truth, there's a little bit... to every joke, there's a little bit of truth. Yeah. So it's like, all right, boom. Then they hear it. The blues over here hear it, and they're like, damn, did you hear what he said? So they start talking about the same thing. You know what I mean? They use
jargon that's more. It's more legislative and shit. It's more political. The words are different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same shit, but we're using political jargon over here. You know what I mean? And then when these people over here understand it, like, damn, you hear what they saying?
Yeah.
And they put it in their jargon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's one of the reasons why T.I. is now on the Daily News with Trevor Noah.
Okay.
It's like because you're bringing these two worlds together.
Right. So
And what he could do in rap, another can do to a broader audience.
Mm-hmm. A different
audience, maybe not broader,
but
definitely a broader audience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, would you say different audience? A different audience
right.
as opposed to a broader audience.
Mm-hmm.
So it is taking it's taking my experiences
Mm-hmm.
and then bringing it to someone who can communicate it to a different audience.
Yep. That doesn't understand it the way that I say it.
That doesn't understand.
It's like dialect, right?
Yes.
Different parts, different regions of the world.
Yeah.
Even in America, we speak different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Memphis, it sounds different than Ohio.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Texas, it sounds different than Memphis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can say the same thing.
Yeah.
It means
Right?
a totally different thing.
Yeah. Context is going different, you know what I mean? But literally, it'll sound different because of the region that we're from.
Exactly.
Right? So it's just like in Texas, you know, y'all's draw is different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the most part,
sure.
than it is in Memphis, right?
Yeah.
You know, you go farther north, it's gonna sound different. So the people in the north may not quite grasp it. We talking about the same thing, but because of the way that you're saying it, it don't sound right to me because that's how y'all talk in Texas. That shit.
Because you're not from where I'm from, I can't even trust you. Necessarily.
It don't sound like me.
It don't sound like me.
Yeah. So, all right, if I want to reach your people, if I want to reach that audience, I need to come find somebody that understands what I'm saying, but that'll say it in a way that
I can absorb.
Yeah. So it's just like, all right, we talking about the same thing. T.I. been talking about, you know, he been saying this to us for 15 years.
For 15 years.
Yeah, 20 years, right?
Yeah.
So he hops on the news show, and the guy's like, all right, I've been rocking with you for 20 years. I rock with you because I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So this is my medium, right?
Yeah.
This is my group of people.
Yeah.
I want them to understand what you're saying, but let me talk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it for you.
Exactly.
In the beginning.
In the beginning.
I'm gonna introduce them to this shit.
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna bring you in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the most of the talking.
Yeah.
You tell me what to say in a sense. You know what I mean? We'll orchestrate it. We'll choreograph it so there's a rhythm to it. You know what I mean? That it flows smooth.
Yeah.
And then once they get used to you, you do the talking.
You do the talking.
I'm gonna just step back.
I'm gonna jump off the deep end a little bit.
Beautiful.
I'm scared of this one.
All
Just
right.
a little bit.
Ooh, talk that thing.
So we talk about like we're always looking for leadership, and sometimes I do believe in the black culture we do need somebody to be that ham a little bit, but because it's just like who are we waiting for? But once again, how do we unite ourselves to make a bigger voice, to make a stand where we're not going to change? And I think when we talk about languages, sometimes the media has torn apart our language. So as a protest, now it's like, oh man, these black people are gonna protest. It's scary now.
Yeah.
Versus like, they're coming out here to make change the system.
Right.
We're trying to communicate in the form that most people should understand in a protest, but it's like now we're gonna change this protest to a language that most people don't wanna even touch.
I got you.
So now do we also have to change how we communicate? Because now they say that they're gonna protest, they're gonna riot, they're gonna do all this stuff, and it's funny that in Tulsa we didn't do half of that. So it's just like, do we have to find a different avenue of making our voice heard? Because it's almost like it's the city coming out for us. Who's gonna step up for us? Who's gonna rally for us?
So let's create some context
shit.
for it. So we're moving towards, you know, the decision by the jury to let Shelby walk.
Right.
To let Betty Shelby walk. So when this story first broke, when it happened, when we found out that she had killed this individual, not just this city, but states around us were applauding, you know, black people for, you know, holding their tongue and not rioting and not doing all these things that other cities were doing. Meanwhile, in my mind, I was just like, we didn't do enough.
Yeah, me too.
We didn't. I'm not saying destroy property. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying beat up every white person that you see.
Yeah.
But unless we make our presence felt, unless we use our collective voice, things will not change. And I don't think it came from a place of, you know what, we're going to keep the peace, you know, we're not going to be like other cities. I don't think it even came from that thought process. Mm-hmm. I think it almost came from a process of either one, we're not invested in it enough to care about it, mm-hmm. or two, young people like myself were not digging into this story a little bit deeper. Mm-hmm. You know, we were kind of taking it from face value and we'll see what happens. And I think we got coddled in the fact that they worked so swiftly to like, we're gonna fix this situation, mm-hmm. we're gonna arrest her, do all those things. And so it kind of like appeased us a little bit. Right. And we were able to kind of, instead of being on our tippy toes, we kind of like sat back and said, okay, they got it. And we left, and we ultimately it's out of our hands anyways. But I think personally that we didn't do a good enough job as to making our voices heard.
Or are we desensitized to all this stuff even more? Because like,
but why would we desensitize? Like, this is the first thing that's happened in our generation. I'm not talking about the 20s. I'm not talking about like Black Wall Street.
But I'm saying all the cases that happen in different cities, like we see in Ferguson, like we see in Baltimore. It's like we're frustrated here, even for those cities. But it's like once it comes to our city, it's just like, damn.
And that's unfortunate because in the city
it's here now.
Yeah, but in the city where Black Wall Street was massacred, the people in Black Wall Street were massacred. I would just think of any other place. If it was any other place, there would be hell to pay for it.
Yeah.
And here, it's almost like we've been damaged and divided so much that we can't even put up a fight.
And so I'll just finish off with desensitization, basically, like, even if that's a word. being desensitized, just like, what do we do about this system? Because we keep on stepping up to the same plate, and it's like, it goes back to the fucking system.
Yeah.
We need to change the system, and we keep on saying, almost like we talk about rap or something like that. We keep on talking about the same thing that's been happening 40 years ago, and nothing has changed. So it's like, what language do we need to speak? How many times do we have to say this? How many times do we have to protest to make this something that we need to understand that the system has to change? Something needs to be done. Somebody has to take accountability.
Yeah, it is. And I think with that is we have to change what we will accept and what we won't accept anymore. I think we have become that. I know I'm guilty of it. Like, I'm pissed. I'm mad as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's more of us. Yeah. There are pockets of us all around town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this shit been happening too much, and it's just like, damn. Like, what to do? Like, I think, you know, in order for there to be systemic change, first we have to address what we won't accept anymore, right? Like, and then we have to make a formidable stance, and we have to do some unorthodox. It has to be in some unorthodox means. You know what I'm saying? I think even some of the protests that we've had in town have been comfortable protests. They've been done at comfortable hours. You know what I mean? When we weren't really disturbing, you know. I'm in some of those marches, you know, and it's just like if we really, really, really want to change something, like we systemically, like we gotta first say, like, man, we don't want to accept this shit no more. Like, we all feel that way. You know, when we do it through these different outlets. So, and maybe we need to really check ourselves and to see the type of people that we really are. Like, is Tulsa, are we a type of people to really burn some shit up? You know what I mean? And if we aren't, we're gonna have to burn it up another way. You know what I mean? It's gonna look different here.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's not to say that we're not gonna accept it still. You know what I'm saying? We still are saying no. We're putting our foot down like, no, fuck that. But it's gonna have to be something though. And it's like a wake up call. Like, this is man. That verdict, bro, and it's like everybody wanted to do something, man. But how the fuck everybody gonna want to do something and ain't nobody doing shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I put a little post up the other day, man. This lady was like, so what are you doing? And even then, it checked me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, well, I'm teaching these kids, like, I can make that shit sound good. I'm teaching these kids to use their voice, disguise it in poetry so that they can know when, when it's their time, when they're called, they can stand up.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, if that's the truth, then why these little motherfuckers ain't out here? Why they ain't doing nothing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. They can write it down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And excuse my French, like, like if you're successful at that, right? So why aren't they out there? What are they doing? I had a couple students address the school board.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. For the money that was taken, right? And that's another thing. Like, all of this stuff is happening to poor people, to black people, to colored people, right? Yeah. Like we have to say, like now is it's gotta happen now. Yeah. You know what I mean? That of what we're not going to accept anymore.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They took $12 million from the school district, right? Poor people affected the most. Black kids, Hispanic kids, right?
Yeah.
Police kill another unarmed black man.
Yep.
It's like, man, and there's enough of us. So I guess it's time to organize, man. Yeah. And there's no excuses.
Yeah.
And if Tulsa, if we are not, we got to do a check in the mirror, gut check. Like if we gonna burn, then that should have happened already.
Yeah.
It would have happened.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not that.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that. In Ohio in 2001, we got it in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It rioted. You know what I mean? And I remember marching down the street in the middle of all of that. You know what I mean? Fire and all of this crazy stuff. Fortunately, I was with some group of people, you know what I mean? Yeah. Where they was like, nah, don't bust no windows out. But they had to calm me down, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I was like the one that was walking towards the line of the police. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And there was other cats that was doing it. Yeah. In our group, I was just so enraged with passion. I had never felt like that in my life. Mm-hmm. So now I feel that, right? Yeah. Again. But there were more of us that felt like me then. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? At least in that culture of people. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was like more of us, and it didn't take for us to wait on somebody else. It was just like, it's time. Let's move. Yeah. Now it's going to take somebody. Yeah. It's going to take a group of people. But it's that gut check though. Yeah. It's like if we ain't that type of city to burn nothing down, all right.
How are we gonna do this?
But are we cowards for that or not? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, if we're not cowards, okay, then we need to find a way that we do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's gonna have to be creative. It's gonna have to be organized. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna have to be confrontational. Yeah. And I notice people here don't like confrontation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we are transplants. You know what I mean? So we know, but the reality is that, man.
And it all comes down to we just want justice.
Well, let me ask you something. Yeah. I think, we blame the system, and we blame the police department, and we blame even the cop. But ultimately, it is the jury that decides the fate of this individual. And the jury is not a part of the TPD. Right. They're not a part of any movement that we have. There's white people in that group. There's black people in that group. There's men. There's women. And ultimately, they decided that this person that Shelby was innocent, and that it was in her professional duty to do what she did. So, whether it's right or wrong, those individuals said, she's free to go. So we're blaming all these other entities when ultimately it's our peers that have voted for this ruling.
Right.
So how do we justify that then? Mm-hmm. Because ultimately that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and they're a reflection of us.
Yeah. So yes, it may be the system. Right. Yes, it may be the individual. Right. But at the end of the day, it is however many of our peers that have judged this lady.
Yeah.
How do you rectify that?
And that's how it's supposed to work.
And that's how it's supposed
It's
to work.
supposed to, right?
Yeah.
We know justice has done some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
But that's how it was designed. The peer is a microcosm of the larger,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
11 or however 15 of
Yeah.
them, right? They are a reflection of what we will accept, right? So
Yeah.
if we were a society of people that was like, no, like, they're supposed to say no too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like she's going to jail. But since she didn't, like that's a reflection of what we feel.
And we don't have nobody to be mad at
Except ourselves.
except
right?
ourselves.
All right. Yeah.
Like
And the sad thing is just like, this is where it's like, we sometimes feel helpless, and now it's easy to burn down a building. It's easy to get mad because it's like, shit, like what else can we do?
exactly. We can't. Yeah.
And once again, I do think, it's a system thing, like, because I don't believe that if these black people are ending up dead because of police officer training, I don't think that should be a correct way of training if this continues to happen. There has to be a different way of acknowledging that issue
Yeah.
versus life being taken.
Yeah.
And always somehow it's black, and now it's like on top of it, you discredit us. And
Yeah.
the means of it, like this person just had a car broke down, and you're talking about now he had PCP, he has this, he used to have these warrants, he used to have these arrests.
Yeah. Now there was PCP found in his system,
Yeah.
and whether I'm not sure whether the car was broken down or he got out. I'm not sure of that. And to be honest with you, that's really neither here or there.
Right.
If she recognized that he was acting abnormal, then at that point, and I guess people that are on drugs can do crazy stuff. I get that. But at the same time, do you approach someone who's coherent and someone who acknowledges that you are a police officer and still chooses to defy you? Do you treat that person the same way you treat someone who possibly is on drugs, who isn't coherent? Do you treat them with the same force?
But they didn't know.
She had an idea.
Okay.
He was acting different. He was acting sporadic. It seemed like he was on something.
Okay.
So in that sense, in that case, it's just like,
Where's your training?
well, realizing that, yeah, is there a trained individual who handles, individuals who have drugs and alcohol abuse,
Right.
and who are acting, because if he was in his right mind, I guarantee he'd be like, yo, I'm good. I'll chill out. I'll be good. I'll be straight. I don't want to get shot.
Yeah.
But you have to be a bold individual to have 5 cops on you and continue to walk away from it to try to get in your car. There's something wrong with that individual. I'm too afraid to even
Possibly, yeah.
act on it.
Yeah.
I'm not that bold, and I don't know how many individuals are that bold.
Or like I said, he was trying to prove his innocence. Like, dude, like I just got my car broke down. Like you can see right here.
Yeah.
Like, and it's once again like, it went from 0 to 100 very, very fast.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, hey, I'm innocent, and now I got a gun pointing at me. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was...
And he was walking away.
And he was walking
Yeah.
away.
Right.
And the issue was, Shelby was saying, Betty's her first name. Betty Shelby was saying that in our training, and that was the most irritating thing for me, because I in my mind I could see them saying, blame all of what you did on your training, because the police department is not on trial. You are. So if you put all of the blame on your training, listen, this is what I was taught to do, then you absolve fault. There's no fault in what you did, because
There's no accountability.
There's no accountability because this is your training. I was told that if an individual goes inside his vehicle, to not let him. That was the quote. To not let him pull it back. To not let him pull his hand back.
Okay.
She saw it based on a video of her in training.
Yeah.
And they told her if an individual reaches in their automobile or in an area where you can't see what they have in their hand or pulling back, do not let them pull it back.
Okay.
So number one, my issue was the fact that it was so easy to put it on her training. But 2, This individual walked 5-10 steps to his automobile.
Yeah.
You followed him to his automobile.
Yeah.
When he had his hands up and he turned his back to you, we've all watched Cops. We see how y'all get down. Y'all can tackle a nigga to the ground if y'all want to.
Right.
Y'all can jump over fences. Y'all can sweat. We got him.
Right.
Y'all can do all that.
Yeah.
If you knew that this man was not acting normal, if you saw him with his hands up, if you saw him with his back turned and slowly, he didn't run to the car.
Right.
He was walking slowly to his car. Then shooting him should have been the last option.
Yeah.
No one fired their tasers off or nothing.
Hell no.
She was the first one. So my issue is like, just for the simple fact that for pedestrians, if someone's in your house and they turn to leave and you shoot them in the back, you were held accountable for that.
Yeah.
But when an officer does it, we can blame it on I feared for my life. But you got a regular civilian fearing for their life, and they run, and you're imperfect.
Right.
So we're giving you the option of being nervous and scared when you're a police officer and you're supposed to not be afraid of the things that I'm afraid of.
Right.
That's why you're in that job.
Right.
Because you don't react like I react.
Right.
If I was a cop, I'd shoot him.
Yeah.
Because that's not what I'm trained to do. That's not in my makeup.
Yeah.
I would be afraid of those.
And you're not saying this situation here. You're just saying in general. Yeah.
In general.
It's not my occupation.
It's not my occupation.
I'm not trained for that.
Yeah.
Right.
So how easy, if that is so easy to say I feared for my life.
Yeah.
How?
Right.
How did you fear for your life?
And if you fucked up, say you fucked up. Like if you made a mistake, that's what I feel.
That's
like,
the worst.
Yeah. It's like we don't know. We wasn't there.
Right.
Shit. You know what I mean? We saw the video. I think she fucked up. Mm-hmm. I think not in the sense that Betty Shelby's a bitch, like a lady as in the bitch. I think she's a bitch in a sense like scary form.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You were scared.
Yep.
You shouldn't have been. You had no reason to be afraid.
No reason to be afraid.
I can see leading up to it, if you were a bit apprehensive, the level of anxiety.
You by yourself.
Yeah, I get that. But by the time you made that decision, there were other people there. Mm-hmm. Right? There was a helicopter that was watching your ass.
He was scared.
Yeah.
He looked like a mean dude. Like, he was scared.
Bitch, you okay, that was a bitch move.
Yeah.
Right? Flat out.
Yeah.
Now, own up to that shit and apologize. Like, you can't take it back. Don't get on national fucking TV and make justifications for the shit that you did.
Yeah.
And then try to flip that shit like you're the victim.
Yeah.
Like, that's why that motherfucker don't need to be
Yeah.
on the
But
force.
that's why, but bro,
And if she's there are more of them.
Yeah.
Because they allowed that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what we need to force change with. Culturally, we need to change the culture. And the thing is like what will we accept?
Yeah.
If we ain't gonna accept this shit no more, man, it's like now we at this point where it's like we bust up in that motherfucker. Not with guns.
Yeah.
Right? We already know that they'll shoot.
Yep.
Yeah.
These are bitches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you know these
they're ready.
motherfuckers are scary,
Yeah.
like you gotta be prepared for scary, right?
Yeah.
So nope, we can't do that, even though we should, because just in case, right?
Yeah.
But we know that
Yeah.
won't be effective. Go in, like, look,
Yeah.
I'm not about it.
Yeah.
we ain't got no guns, but we ain't leaving this motherfucker until we start talking.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we're not.
And she
gonna
gotta
get
be
an apology.
gone. Like, yeah, it's like, yo, but we ain't gonna start talking until she's gone.
She gone.
So she has to go. Like
Not
not just not here
Right.
today.
Right.
Like, nah, fuck that. She if we paying for this shit, right? They tax money supposed to be covering the salaries of police officers, right?
Yeah.
These are civic. Yeah, if we paying for this shit, we're not paying for hers.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
Yeah.
We're not paying for hers. I need to get her the fuck up out of here.
And it has
Principle.
And it's not principle.
It's principle.
It's not just the fact.
We don't
that
want her
she-
not to eat.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I get it. You gotta live. You can, but you gonna be straight.
Yeah.
It's enough of y'all motherfuckers that's gonna look out for her.
Yeah.
But it's principle.
Yeah.
I ain't about to do that shit.
Yeah.
She gotta go.
Yeah.
We'll start talking once y'all get rid of her.
Yeah. It's
And
not
we
even
gonna
the
keep
fact
coming
that
back.
she just killed a black individual. It's not the fact. It's you're. I could see if it was a different situation, if the individual had a gun and he was about to flash and stuff like that, but you are incapable. I won't say that.
It's just accountability. That's
it's just
all we want.
accountability. It's just accountability.
Somebody,
And it's
like you said,
if you're
somebody take blame.
If you're not ready to do your job, if that scares you to the point where you will kill someone with their hands up and their back turned, then I don't know if this job is for you.
Right.
Why is it in any other job that if we're incapable of doing our job,
skill set, all that bullshit they be talking
skill set,
about.
all that,
Yeah.
we've been trained, all that. If we're incapable of doing that, we get fired.
Word.
We get fired, and it's not because, oh man, I was just tired that day, or I was scared about something else, or I had some
At
other
least
issues.
acknowledge that, hey, you did a bad job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is your review.
This is your review.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Now-
not just like you should have ticketed in when you did. You took someone's life.
Yeah, we can't risk you putting our company, our institution in jeopardy with a mistake like this again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Are we willing to allow this to happen again?
Yeah,
That's the question.
no.
Exactly. From the same individual.
Yeah,
And think
in
about
our
this-
jobs, yeah, if there's a, and I don't even, how long she been on?
I think like 19.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, she's been a while.
Yeah, so she way past the, what's the joint called when you first start?
Tenure?
Yeah, no, she got tenure, but what's it called when you first start? You get like the trial period, not the trial period.
Like a grace period.
Yeah, no, you in your probationary period, right? In your probationary
say
period.
honeymoon.
Well, yeah, right. So you in your probationary period, right? You make mistakes. They give you 90 days to fuck up, right?
Yeah.
You get
Not
90
19
days.
years, partner.
Not 19 years, yo.
Yeah.
But at the end of those 3 months, if you ain't got it, you ain't gonna be here.
Yeah. Or do you even make it an age thing? Where it's just like, hey, we need some young people.
Yes,
And we
there
gotta
needs
cut
to
it
be
off.
fresh. If we're gonna change the culture,
Yeah.
they need to start recruiting where, okay, and this is this community policing shit, right?
Yeah.
So if we want them to change the culture, right? There's obviously a problem in them understanding us,
Yeah.
right? You didn't understand his body language,
Yeah.
right? You fucked up.
Yeah.
Homie in the helicopter, he's big and black and scary.
Yeah.
Like, nah, we used to that. We see that every day.
Yep.
We know how to communicate with certain levels of body
Right.
language. Like, we're not aggressive. We're not apprehensive when our voice is raised, because that's our culture.
Right.
That's how we talk.
Right.
Yep.
So if y'all don't understand that shit,
Right.
y'all need to learn it.
Very true.
And not only learn it, y'all need to recruit people that speak that way,
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
so that mistake don't happen again.
Yeah.
And they need to be on duty out there, right?
Yeah.
It's just like going to another, like we talk about language and you know what I mean, and region and everything. Like, you know what I mean? Why you going, like if you going to a place where they speak another language and you don't even speak the language, you don't understand the culture. You know what I mean? You don't understand the reason that they walk or they talk, why they, you know, why, I don't know, the tone that they use,
Yeah.
right? It makes you uncomfortable because you're not used to that shit.
Right.
Ain't nobody else around here got no problem with it. It's just you.
Yeah.
That means you ain't spent enough time here.
Yeah.
And if you can't get it, hire somebody else that can.
Yeah.
That means go to them. That means they need to get more brothers on the force that speak the way that we speak.
That's a
That's
hairy
the
statement.
Yeah. That's the community policing shit. Like, y'all, we need to change the whole recruiting process.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't recruiting the right people. Y'all keep getting people that are agitated by us.
Yeah.
But y'all want to police us. Like, no.
Right.
Fuck that.
And for me, it's,
You don't police, like, that's not the way you police.
Yeah.
Like, you police with understanding
Right.
of those that you are policing,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
And they got this old fucked up technique. I don't know, they probably been doing it for at least 19 years.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, they get people to come from some of these other places. They go into these places to police, but they don't understand who they're policing.
yeah.
We're supposed to do everything their way. Like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
We don't talk like y'all.
Yeah.
We don't even dance like y'all.
Yeah.
We don't even dress like y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna come in here and say we doing our shit wrong? We've been doing this shit for decades. It's generations, man. We ain't changing this shit.
Yeah.
Y'all change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if y'all ain't gonna change, have some of us in there
Yeah.
to police us.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, there's no gray area to that.
Yeah.
So if you wrong, you're gonna get dealt with. That's what justice is supposed to do, right?
They don't.
But if y'all's justice looks that way because of the way that y'all are raised, the way that y'all talk, the food that y'all eat, everybody don't eat like y'all.
Yeah.
Everybody don't talk like y'all.
Yeah.
So if you gonna police us, get some motherfuckers in here that talk like us.
Yeah.
Get homie, like I know a little kid right now that would like to be a police officer.
Yeah.
He's gonna grow up in this community. He knows what a threat looks like in this community. A threat in this community is not being big and black.
Yeah.
It's not just raising your voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've grown up in going to parties, right?
Yeah.
In our culture, right? In our
Yeah.
culture,
Yeah.
we go to parties, right? Stuff pops off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pops off at any party, right? But we ain't talking about that. When we go to a party in our culture, we turn up, right? It looks different.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
We don't line dance as much at our parties, right?
Yeah.
A turn up for us, you know what I mean? A certain song come on, we bumping into each other.
Yeah.
Now, if you ain't used to that shit, that's gonna be a threat to you,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
right? For an outsider.
Yeah.
We could be on here in this video right now, you know what I mean? Going in, the music come, I might do this to you,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And we know the language.
a little bit.
And you would hit me back, you know, like that's how we talk.
Yeah.
But if you ain't used to that shit,
Yeah.
it's gonna throw you off.
gonna throw you
You know what I mean? You might put your fist up like, yo, man, this ain't how we get down.
Yeah.
All right, so we need
like
to school
that
you.
mosh pitching.
Yeah. It's like, all right, we need to school you. This is the way we party. Chill out, homie. This is the way we get down.
Yeah.
If you can't deal with it, you need to go.
Yeah.
Your people need to take you somewhere else to another party. But if you want to vibe with us,
Yep.
this is how we dance.
Yeah.
Round
We ain't gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
This actually love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is
Yeah.
the way that we show affection. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe this party isn't for you.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a part of this party, we're gonna school you real quick.
Yeah.
This is how we do it. If this happens, this happens, this happens, you give it back, they'll give you some back. It's just the way we reciprocate it.
Yeah.
Now, if it goes this far, then this is when you're alarmed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they need somebody to come in there and tell them how it looks.
Yeah.
But in that, we need to change the culture by inviting other people that feel the same way, the same opportunity to police also.
Yeah.
That's just my logic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know this isn't, like, that's just the way I feel.
Yeah,
No, absolutely.
and I think a little bit on the opposite side where I'm like, man, like, because they actually requested that people from North Tulsa become police officers once Betty Shelby was indicted for her crime. And I was just like, for me, it's always sometimes a cop-out. Like, hey, let's get some black people on force now since this situation has happened. But I also believe that almost like a job, like we talk about, that you're capable of handling everything, not just one race.
Yeah.
You shouldn't just be on one side. You should know how to, especially since you're gonna be interacting with everybody.
Right.
Almost like whenever I'm listening to Dave Ramsey with Financial Peace, he's talking about situations gonna happen where you need emergency money.
Righteous.
Stop thinking that emergency is not gonna happen. Emergencies will happen.
Okay.
So you gotta be prepared for that. So it's like, as police officers, you gotta honestly gotta know you're gonna be prepared for some black people, and how do you deal with that situation? Or do you act like, oh, I'm never gonna have that situation? Or whenever that situation does happen, you just respond.
Yeah.
Right.
First, being prepared for that situation.
Right.
So for me, it's just like, I don't want to just have black people as police officers, because it's like, all right, now you guys got your own police force, you're happy now. But it's just like, I want to interact with a white police officer and understand that he cares for me just as much as any other person.
Right.
You're a police officer. You're here to serve. You're here to care for me. And definitely, like, you have the power to kill me and possibly be acquitted without any charges and go back to service. And it's just like, man, I want to at least know that you care for me, regardless of what race.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to always be like, man, if this is not a black police officer, I gotta know that I gotta be careful.
Right on. I got you.
But so two things. One, I don't think it's. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll be real
My
quick.
bad.
So two things. One, I don't want to just label it because she was a white woman or because a lot of these incidences happen from white officers, because there's plenty of black officers where they're shooting and killing. So
bitches too.
yeah. So it is.
My bad. I
It's
shouldn't have said it
it's
like
the
that.
system. It's not necessarily a black and white thing all the time. I do think that is a
Right.
factor for sure. But I think it is the police department sometimes misusing their authority, misusing their power.
Absolutely.
And it starts systematically, but also there is this community. There's within police departments, it seems, anyways, that there is they are a family. Obviously, they are a family, because and not to discredit any police officers, because they have one of the most difficult jobs on the planet, because we go to work and we don't think, man, am I gonna survive the day doing video?
Right on. Yeah.
Am I gonna survive the day doing poetry?
Yeah. Right on.
Right. So their field is much more complicated than ours are.
Right
So I don't want to lose sight of that, but at the same time, so it's a family, it's a community. They go through things together. They suffer loss together. All those things. But when one does something wrong, I would hope that fellow officers can see it and say that was wrong and start policing themselves, start policing their own. It's unfair that I hear, well, black people in their communities, they need to give back and they need to start supporting each other and they need to start holding each other accountable. There's all these murders in Chicago and blacks are killing blacks. They need to hold each other accountable.
Right.
Okay, y'all hold each other accountable too. Why is it that we need leaders to go back and give back to our community? But there's not police officers who need to do the same for their people. Very rarely do I hear a police officer speaking out against a fellow police officer.
Right.
Because of this tight family that they have.
Yeah.
We're supporting you. We're gonna and
right or wrong.
Right or wrong.
Right.
Right or wrong. And that's not justice, and that's not fair, and that's not policing each other. That's not holding each other accountable.
Yeah.
You bring out all the bells and whistles to defend this individual instead of saying this individual was wrong. But at the same time, you're innocent until proven guilty, and so they let the courts do that. They let the lawyers and stuff handle that. But at the same time, it's just like, when are police officers going to step up and talk and stand out against other officers? Who, because they hear stuff all the time. They have conversations. I know they're in their car and they have certain conversations and stuff like that.
Right.
So character and integrity speaks to, are y'all addressing those issues in-house?
Right on.
Are y'all having those conversations? Because you tell us to watch ourselves and to govern our own people and to give back and to start policing ourselves.
Right on.
Are you guys policing yourselves?
Right on.
Are y'all talking to your, hey, that wasn't cool.
Yeah.
I know it was just, I know you didn't pull a gun on him, you didn't do anything like that, but how you handled him, how you talked to him.
Right on.
Are we addressing those situations? And I've seen too many times on these videos where you got a cop holding him down like he's supposed to, but then you got another cop kicking him in his face, and that cop don't say nothing.
Right.
And that cop don't say nothing. So if you let him kick me, when will you let him shoot me? If you let him kick me in my face, you'll let your fellow officer shoot me.
Right on.
And I don't see enough of those conversations happening.
Ooh.
I don't see enough of those people standing up and saying, yo, what this officer did was wrong and I can't stand by it.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, you get mad for us not snitching on each other.
Right.
You get mad at that community.
Yeah.
You're like, well, we can't.
Damn, I ain't think about that.
There's
Yeah.
nothing working in this community because no one's stepping up and no one's holding each other accountable.
Y'all doing the same
And
shit.
y'all doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
And we don't want nobody to die at the end of the day.
Yeah. Exactly.
We want to be a community, and it's like whatever that right and wrong is can be determined based on just the police department.
Yeah.
Like we need to also have the community, the people.
Yeah.
Also, like what is right and wrong for us as well.
Yeah. And I hold ourselves accountable too. I hold us accountable too, because there's certain things that we can't avoid, and what is in our community, because a lot of it is set up to us for us to continue to struggle, for us to continue to this cycle of getting out of jail, going to prison, whatever the case is, needing money to pay back fines. I don't have a job because I have a felony now, so I have to go back to what I'm used to. And it's that cycle. So a lot of those things are systematic, and we can't help those things. But there's certain things that we can help in the way that we govern ourselves, the way that we communicate with officers.
Yeah.
Because we talk to them nasty, and we talk to them because they're so bad in other places. Man, F12 and do all this stuff, man. Y'all ain't nothing. It's just like, yo, you never had an interaction with this officer.
Right.
You saw something on TV.
Yeah. Right.
Of an officer beating down some other kids someplace else, and now
So
you
you
take it
just
on
gonna
yourself to stick up for that individual.
And it's the same reflection back towards us that they saw these black people talking bad to police officers.
Yeah.
Now they uptight.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's just this Ferris wheel, and you go nowhere fast.
Yeah.
And all the meanwhile, the hamster that's running that is always dying.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's such a macro issue, and I don't know, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Something.
Yeah.
Something has to happen.
Yeah,
It's
something.
just something, right?
Something has to happen for that to happen. And we have a platform to where we can incite some change. I remember you saying that in our morning Joe.
Yeah.
Your voice may spark that one person who incites change. And I think as individuals, maybe it just takes us. It's cliche, but it's the man in the mirror. Like, let's take care of us first. As individuals. And then out of that, the community changes.
Yeah.
Our city changes, our state changes.
Right on.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an issue that's not going to be done in a podcast, obviously.
Yeah.
But
it's not going to be resolved.
For me, it's just the thought process of it. Like, to really work out what I think should be done, work off what Written has said, work off what you said.
Yeah.
It's like trying to come up with this plan of like, let's get this shit over with. Like, for my kids. Like, this can't continue on for
Straight up.
a number of years.
Straight up.
Hopefully there is one day where black people and police officers can be truly friends and not scared that the police are behind them.
Yeah, I want to feel the same way I feel when a fire truck's behind me. I know they're here to protect. I know that when a cop gets behind me, I don't feel any protection. I don't feel any service. I feel like, okay, it's partner running my tags.
Yeah.
So I might need to. And we all do it. We all do it. Where when a cop comes up, we all slow down and we get so anxious and we get all these things, knowing that we good. Like, what we got a trick for?
Right.
But it is that intimidation.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one story, and it blows my mind, and maybe it's just me. But in the neighborhood that I used to live in, East Tulsa, 31st and 129th, there was this street. There is this automobile who sits at the corner, and it looks just like all the other automobiles. It looks like all the other automobiles
What kind of car?
in this community. It's like it got tinted windows.
Crown Vic almost.
It's like a Crown.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
All this joint, right? And it's just sitting at the corner, and it is an undercover cop. Whatever the case, it's a cop.
Okay.
It's an officer, and he gets a bunch of people.
It's an undog.
It's an undog.
The undogs, right?
And my thing is, why can't you use the automobile that the police department gave you? Right? Like you are tempting people to speed. You're tempting people to do things that they wouldn't normally do if they saw a police car.
Right.
Right? Because
If
if something happens in my area and I'm looking for a cop,
Yeah.
and I see that cop and I see that car, I'm not thinking that's a police officer.
Hey, right.
So when I need you, you're not there.
Right.
But you are waiting for me to do something.
Yeah. That's
you
some
are
bullshit.
blending in so that you can catch me doing something.
Right.
Is your job to catch me in the wrong, or is your job to prevent me from doing it in the first place?
Okay.
Because it now moves from a point of serving and protecting to now I'm about to come up off you.
Yeah.
I'm about to come in real
This is
sweet.
weak,
And I
though.
passed by and I seen the dude in the badge and everything. I'm like, bro, why you trying to get me?
Yeah.
I used to work at the Tulsa Boys Home. I'm doing something. I'm trying in the job that I'm in right now. I'm promoting our city. I'm trying to get back to youth. I'm having podcasts like this to educate. I'm not why are you trying to get me?
Yeah, man.
Just being a police, but just having your police car right there will say, okay, I need to slow down.
Yeah.
I need to abide by the law.
Yeah.
Because there is an officer who's expecting me to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting an El Dorado. You know what I'm saying? And I know it speaks to your character integrity. You're supposed to drive the speed limit, do all this stuff, regardless
All the
of
time. Yeah.
all the time. I
Nobody's
get that.
watching you.
Well, no one's watching me.
Yeah.
Right.
But I feel a certain way when you try to come up off me, trying to trick me. I don't like it.
That is weak, though.
That's
man.
weak.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
like just show me your car and I'll slow down. So then the point is not to slow me down. The point is not to, hey, listen, I'm an officer.
Right.
And if you pass by me with the speed limit, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
That's not your intent. Your intent is to wait till I do something and then come around me and then flash the joints.
Yeah.
I see so many undercovers now.
I hate them too, yo.
So maybe that's just my.
Nah.
I don't like that, bro. I can't stand that. And I just passed, and he didn't get me. But
I know, but it's just
and I was
principle.
looking
Like, come
bro,
on,
you
man.
weak for that.
Yeah.
You're weak.
Like,
So
we all know it's you though.
Thank you. Thank you. No. This fool had a nerve to like blend
Kids
in with the
know,
car
like,
and everything.
man, you ain't even a good. You ain't even high and
You
good.
ain't even high and grade. You all poked out the corner. Ain't nobody. Come
He
on,
be so
man.
mad about this.
I just.
I hate undercovers. Yo, we should talk about that one segment. Like,
I
have
understand why you
everybody in there
have to.
like undercovers. They are the weakest.
And
though.
they got this, and they got cars, they got nice joints now
Man,
too.
you can't even tell.
You can't tell, bro.
colors, too?
They got, you
I don't
can't
like
tell. They
them
got
shits,
different
yo.
colors.
They got the silver ones.
They got the blue ones.
got the
Yeah, the
blue ones.
blue
I
ones
seen
with the
the
shit on the
maroon joints, too.
inside.
Yeah, the inside.
Yeah, you can't even see it. They did that on purpose.
They got the
though.
lights in the inside.
Yeah, I don't like that,
They
yo.
ain't not got nothing on top. It's like,
In the morning, I be looking through people's cars like there's a car.
Yeah, with the lights.
in the
Yo,
back.
yo,
I
yo.
should not have to try to decipher who you are. No one else in a suit, no one else in a uniform has to do that.
Yeah.
Nobody else. If you got an IMSA truck, it ain't disguised as a Ford pickup. like you know what I'm saying? Like, why do cops have why? I can see
Right, just do it.
I can see if you were in a community and you were trying to run a sting or something like that, you'd be undercover and you
that's different.
Yeah.
But you are a patrolman.
You just chilling.
You are a highway patrol. You are just chilling.
Yeah,
trying
man.
to find somebody.
Yeah,
That's
though,
weak.
man. We need to change that shit.
I don't subscribe to that. That shit is weak, bro. And I say it on tape. That shit is weak.
Nice,
I
nice.
hate that, man. I don't understand why.
Yeah, you ain't even right. You ain't even working on nothing right now. You just on regular detail right now at Walmart. And shit. You at the grocery
Why
store in the
am I not being
motherfucking
dressed
Undo.
for?
You an Undo at the grocery store.
Come on. Me seeing you
at the grocery store.
Right. You gonna
seeing
steal
you
one of them
uniform.
baskets.
man,
Hey, we gonna get your
because
ass.
to a certain extent, you're
Hey.
now an accomplice to
Don't
it.
you know Walmart had locks down a basket if you go beyond the perimeter?
Oh nah,
Like your wheels.
There's a magnet that just locks up. You gotta push it without the wheels.
You gotta pick that joint up and roll with it.
drag that shit down.
I just think having a uniform, having an automobile. We see when we're driving, we see that patrol car come up. We already know what to do.
Yep.
Slow
Take
down.
my foot off the
Take
gas.
my foot up, slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down. So
Let me be more sensible.
let me be
about
more
how-
sensible because I see this officer here.
Yeah.
As opposed to seeing someone who's dressed as or has a car as a civilian and you speed up and you end up killing somebody because that respect is not there, that fear is not there. So I mean,
it's a balancing thing.
it is a balancing thing. It's a balancing thing. I just feel like it's moving more towards a business as opposed to serving and protecting.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a whole different conversation right there.
Yeah.
But I want to go into the World Culture Music Festival.
Oh, okay. Word.
Your thoughts on it?
Yeah. So
mean,
shout out to Steph Simon,
Yeah.
and Flavio Couture, King Cut. They put it on.
Yeah.
So I hosted last night. Real fly,
Yeah.
man. Despite the rain,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Turned out real good, man. So shout out to Tulsa for coming out and showing love.
Yeah.
To all the underground artists. You know, I hate using the term local.
Yeah.
Because it takes away like the impact, I feel. So to all the underground artists that came out last night and they got a day 2 today.
Yeah.
The Yeti and Sound
Beautiful
Pony.
out today.
Yeah. Much
It's
better.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's blue skies.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that again tonight. Hosted last night.
Yeah.
Nephew got down. Handful of other cats got down. Some good talent. You know what I mean? So they doing their thing, man. And the reason that I rock with them cats is like, you know, they ain't waiting on nobody else to set it up.
Right.
You know what I mean? We all in this together and we understand that, like, just like y'all, you know what I mean? Like, we can't wait on anybody else to set up what it is that we want.
Yeah.
You know, if that's the case, we'll be waiting forever.
Yeah.
So it's like, if we want something, we gotta make it. And, you know, a lot of times we not a lot of times, we always utilize the resources that we have in the beginning of starting anything.
Yeah.
Your resources are slim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
your grind it's a test of your grind, a testament of your grind. Like, how
Absolutely.
much are you gonna put together to make sure that this happens?
Yeah.
So this is year 2.
Yeah.
And they up to like over 50 artists.
Wow.
Yeah. So for some underground shit,
Yeah.
Like, we all know what that's like, man, to start something.
Putting ideas to action.
Yeah. So, them cats is doing their thing, man. And I'm as long as they doing what they doing, I'm gonna support whatever I can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like with y'all cats, man. We doing this shit together, man. We coming together, man.
Yeah.
We coming together.
I see it as like we're making a difference now. We're making ourselves known once
Right
again.
on.
Because it's like, once again, I don't think a lot of black people go downtown.
Right.
And it's just like the Culture Music Festival is the only thing that has brought people to downtown.
Mm-hmm. Some of them people, right. I agree.
Yeah.
And just having them experience a whole different side of Tulsa that they never even want to go to it.
Yeah. And that's another issue. Like, I mean, we're one city, and yet, you know, people in North Tulsa don't go to South Tulsa, and East don't go to West. That's weird, man. It's weird, and it's counterproductive.
It is.
To the growth of this city, and to the meshing of these cultures. If I keep my culture to myself, how can I even expect you to connect with me?
Yeah.
If I don't ever come down here, and if I don't ever show my talents on a stage and promote my culture and promote what I'm from, you never even give anybody the option of listening and formulating their own ideas of who this individual is.
Right on.
Because everybody's so isolated.
Yeah.
You know, and it's one city.
Yeah.
It's not like Oklahoma City and Tulsa. It's Tulsa.
Yeah.
That blows my mind, and that just shows how young of a city we are. Or how young in our thinking and in our integration and our inclusion we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because music is raceless.
Yeah.
And things like, so that's why this is so important.
Right.
And that's why it's so important for underground artists, white, black, it doesn't matter. Men, women, doesn't matter. To speak their truth. To speak their truth.
Yeah.
You know, to create perspective for people.
Right.
Because I may not understand what you're going through, but if you create perspective, I can say, okay, I've never been through that, but I can see how you feel this way. I can see how you talk this way, how you act this way. You know, and that's why it's so important for us. And that's why it's important for us is what's happening in Tulsa. You know, to not just talk about downtown Tulsa, North Tulsa, East, West, you know, and being this smorgasbord of inclusion and of cultures and of different beliefs and things like that. Like, I mean, it's up to us, you know, it is. So, yeah.
And so I basically say that, like, I'm glad to see hip hop truly starting to make its way to downtown and spread. Because like, sometimes I don't think that we're a hip hop downtown.
Right.
We don't appreciate hip hop as much here in Tulsa.
Right.
Where you'll go to obviously like Atlanta or California, anywhere else where it's just like you got hip hop in every single club. It's not a rock and roll band or an indie band, whatever that is.
Yeah.
It's more spread out.
Yeah.
It's a mix of it all.
Right on.
This is our first stamp saying, hey, hip hop is here.
Right on.
Yeah. It's strange that in certain clubs they will stop playing certain music to get rid of a certain crowd.
Yep.
And I think that is the craziest. I remember me and my boy one time. We went to a club down here, and one of the bouncers, he had a swollen eye. He was busted up bad. He was as soon as we walked up, he was like, "Oh, are y'all the two that jumped me last week?"
Oh.
And I said, "Brother," listen, I don't know what happened to you, and I apologize for that. Whoever did that to you, that was wrong, that was messed up, because they really messed you up. Number one, you probably deserved it, talking shit like that. But two, we all may look alike in your opinion, but brother, if I jacked you up like that, I wouldn't be back the next week.
Right on.
Maybe some other individual would be like, yeah, I knocked you out and I do it again. Let me in this club.
Right.
But it wasn't us.
Right on.
You know what I mean? And for him to say, he was so mad that he got beat up. He was so mad. But it's just like, man, that like stuff like that, it still exists. It's still like you have the nerve to even say, like, were y'all the two that just jumped me last week? Yeah. You know, it's strange like that, but you know, we're still in the thick of that.
Yeah.
You know, where racial biases are still very prominent.
Yeah.
And they're very much alive.
Yes, they are.
You know, so it's nothing that's gonna be done overnight. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
What would make I don't even know if we said this on air, but you had a post out that said, in essence, if you're not about it, shut up.
Yeah.
In essence.
Yeah.
You talk a good game when these things happen.
Yeah.
But you're not executing on anything.
Right.
You're not doing anything so it doesn't happen the next time.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. What would make Written Quincey happy as far as how we as a people act? We as a community, not just as black folks, because white people, Hispanic, they're in it too.
Right on.
They're involved in this too.
And they're showing up a little bit more.
Huh?
They're showing up a little bit more.
And they are showing up, for sure, for sure. What would make you happy as far as our community and as far as our city, the system in our city? What would make you happy? What change on a micro level? Just something to where you say that is progress.
Okay, so
Just something very small,
right,
minute.
First, for me, what would make me happy is me doing something first.
Okay.
Like I've been trying to figure out what I need to do.
Yeah.
Right. So I know I need to do something. I don't know what it is yet. Like I want to burn some shit.
Yeah.
I really do.
Real talk.
Like that would make me feel good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to make somebody else feel what I feel, right? So a brick through a window, like on the surface, that shit make me feel good. Then I'm gonna go to the crib, and then I'm gonna wonder how I really feel about that decision.
Yeah.
Straight up. You know what I mean? I got a little one now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want him to know what it looks like to stand up too, though.
Exactly.
And I'm, for real, I don't mind telling my son that I had to put a brick through a window to make somebody mad, right? Well, because daddy was mad. Now, what, in the larger scope of things, what is that gonna teach him? It's gonna teach him to do it too, right? And there's a strong chance that he'll do it, but I don't want him to do that,
Right.
because the ramifications of what happens to a person that is a vandalist, right? I want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I really want to do it.
Yeah.
But I think there's another way, right? I think there's another way.
Yeah.
All right, so for me,
He's like, I got this one bill.
The brick is in my car, man.
right? It's I want to do something, so that would make me happy first. That's something. I think it's time to organize, right? I don't want to talk about it. Like I do want to talk about it, like you know what I mean, because you asked me the question.
Absolutely.
But like I'm done saying like what should be done. Like this, doing this podcast and talking about it like has helped me to a level of accountability that if I watch this joint 3 weeks from now and I haven't done anything, like I'm gonna be pissed at myself, though.
Yeah.
Like, cause I'm gonna be pissed at myself that I put it out there and I ain't did nothing, and I'm just another one of them people, right? So, like I have to do something now. What that something looks like and what it entails, I'm gonna probably be calling y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because I've had some conversations with some other brothers.
Yeah.
And we need to have a plan, right? Of what it is that we want and how we're gonna go about saying that we are not accepting some things anymore, right? So that's what I'm gonna do first now, small level. Now, what I would like to see in the city, I would just like to see people fed up. People are comfortable sharing their opinions with social media. They think that them sharing their opinion on social media is activism.
Is enough.
Yeah. And I think there's some, there's a level of it that could be productive, you know what I mean? Like the Black Lives Matter movement, that started with social media. You know what I mean? So they utilized that
Platform.
Yeah, that platform, that avenue, it was strategic. You know what I mean? The shit was smooth. And there was no home base to it. You know what I'm saying?
There's no home address.
Yeah. That was what was like, that's what's dope about it.
Yeah.
I think people have gotten a little bit too carried away with being comfortable with social media, though.
Yeah.
They've become content with believing
For sure.
that
Is enough.
is doing something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The equivalent of that is just sitting in a room. You know what I mean? Everybody's sitting in the living room, talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's ultimately what it is.
Yep.
And we've done that before social media.
Yeah.
We meet in living rooms, you know what I mean?
Barbershops.
Offices, barbershops. So it's just like, this is enough. You know what I mean? We can't take this shit no more. You know what I mean? We argue, debate, do all of that. And at the end of it, it's just like, all right, we'll do this again next week.
Yeah.
But nothing gets done.
Right.
You know what I mean? So ultimately, that's what it is. We've created these these forums where people can dialogue, which is the good thing, right?
Yeah.
But they believe that their dialogue and their opinion is sufficient enough as work. Like they think that's work. Like no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
And the fact that you disagree with somebody and you know how to formulate your thoughts and you can shit on somebody with your words, that does not make you powerful, man. That is really not. You're
not solving it.
Yeah. If you deactivate today, the world does not stop, and you've done nothing. And we would probably appreciate if you did that. Right? So, So I would like people to get off of social media for a minute. Not for a minute, not in a sense like that. Not be so caught up with the and it's this feeling, this sentiment that I'm thinking people have that I'm starting to feel, where it's like they're doing it for likes. They're saying that they're feeling they're sharing their opinion just so that they can get
some type of affirmation or approval.
Yeah, from more people. And it's like, and that's what I'm feeling. Like, I really, really, really feel that way.
It's true.
It's like,
it's true.
You ain't doing this because you really care.
Yeah.
You're doing this because you just want to get some gratification that 100 people clicked.
Somebody shared my post.
Shared your post. Ooh, when somebody share your post, you know you made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I said something dope versus really trying to make a change to the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then if it come down to let's organize them, you ain't gonna never show up.
You ain't gonna be there.
Yeah.
And I'm a victim to it. Like I can honestly say that. Like there needs to be another level of hustle and another level of work.
You need to go back to that old-fashioned way, man.
Yeah.
And it really ain't even old-fashioned because it's like 2 years ago. But it's so, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Time moving so fast.
So funny thing, like I definitely brought.
I hope I answered that question too. My bad.
Yeah.
For sure.
My bad.
No, for sure.
Like, so my thought process, I definitely want to have you on this podcast from the jump. I showed you a long time ago whenever you were going to Consumer Affairs.
Yeah.
But it was like, this was the perfect time. I saw your Facebook post. I was like, I know that Written is going to be the person who's going to be fired up about it.
Yeah.
And I believe there needs to be two sides of that coin, like we're saying, like the passion of it, but also the action side. So I'm hoping that I can get Mark Lewis, who's like more on the political side of things. Like, how do we take the passion that we have and now bring Mark Lewis in and be like, hey, this is what we need to do to react some change?
That passion, how do you channel it into action now, into execution?
Yeah.
All right, so again, it takes organizing, right?
Yeah.
Phone calls, like meetings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not like a post, you know what I'm saying? Like that, we can't do that. We can't do that. And it's I think it's gonna, the strategy will get too compromised, or our intent will become too compromised if we depend on you know what I mean, like making it public. In a sense, like, you know what I mean, for people to see it. Not in the beginning stages. You know what I mean? Not in the beginning. We ain't doing this shit for people to see. Like you don't film the meeting. We handling the business right now. You get what I'm saying? So we organize, and like it has to be phone calls. We delegate what people are gonna do, but primarily we have to have goals. Not too many. 3 strong ones. Like, and in my opinion right now, she needs to get the fuck. She needs to go. That's number 1 for me. So when I'm gonna make these phone calls, it's gonna be like, yo, we need to meet up, man, and it's gonna get uncomfortable. If you ain't with it, it's cool. Maybe you need to do something else for the team, but it's gonna get uncomfortable. But we have 3 main goals. We go in with an intent to talk. Right? Because we have to. And to listen. With the expectation that the other side will do the same thing. And we have to be invested. Right? You have to be invested. Like it's not gonna happen overnight. You know what I mean? There's gonna be a lot of mistakes that's gonna be made. You know what I mean? But we gotta be invested though. And this is not for notoriety. This is not for notoriety. You know what I'm saying? So how do we channel it? It's like, all right, my question is, do we want to channel it though? Like sometimes, like, let it happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just gotta happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll figure it out as we go. And I guess that's the channeling.
Yeah.
Right? In the literal sense, like we'll figure it out through the channel as we go. But yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do what we know how to do.
Yeah.
Like be mad.
Yeah. And it's okay to be mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
But we doing it because we're mad. We're not doing it because we want somebody to see us mad. You know what I'm saying? Be mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we're gonna organize, we have to be diligent. Yeah. We have to be on the same focus and have some clearly defined goals of what we want. Not too many because it'll get overwhelming, we'll get discouraged, and then it'll all fall off. So we start out with the small ones. You already know when you set a vision, you know what I mean? Not too many, because we ain't gonna feel like we accomplishing anything. So do small ones, boom, we check them off. And so first off, make some phone calls. I'm gonna hit y'all up. Some cats at the school, we had some meetings, you know what I mean? I'm like, so if everybody's talking about it, why not we all just talk about this together?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we need to have a goal. Now, I don't know if marching is gonna do it. I'm sick of that.
Yeah.
Just me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that was good for the 60s. They hadn't seen anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was 50 years ago. You know what I mean? So now we need to come up with a new way or do homework to see how other ways that it had been done. You know what I mean? Because that's what they took. You know what I mean? They took the marches for Mahatma Gandhi, right? That's what they did. So it was like, that might work over here, and it did. You know what I mean? So if we can't come up with nothing new, we just figure out a method that worked somewhere in a similar situation, and then we apply it here, right? But I think the marching aspect is, I don't think it's as
powerful as anymore.
No, because they block the streets off for us. You know what I'm saying? Niggas are selling T-shirts and shit at motherfucking marches and shit. You know what I mean? Fish dinners and shit. It's a festival.
Yeah.
You mean you go live and shit with the music, motherfuckers jumping around like, nah, we ain't doing that.
It's not disruptive enough.
Nah, they'll block the street off for us. We don't want your help. Like we get it. You know what I mean? I know y'all want to keep it contained as much as we do, but y'all gonna block the street off for our activists who did that. Like that's kind of like, you know what I mean? It don't really make sense though. Like, hold up. We coming down here to be mad and protest. Like, all right, y'all go this way.
10 to 2.
Yeah, right. What time are y'all gonna do it? Okay, we'll have the people out there to make sure that you can do that. Like, nah. Might have to happen at lunchtime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in the middle of the day, on like a Tuesday, when everybody out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When there's 30,000 people outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the thing is that the city just continues moving on. I was telling Evan about that. It's just like, hey, we got Mayfest, we got Blue Dome.
And it's not that we ain't trying to like we are. We ain't trying to ruin everybody's good time. We get it, but we are trying to stop some good times for a minute so we can address this bad stuff that's going on so that everybody can have a good time. Everybody ain't having a good time right now.
And that's a sad thing.
And to wipe that shit under the rug, like, go ahead. That shit is gonna keep, it's just gonna end up going like this though, and then somebody gonna trip over it, and then you really gonna have to address it because it's a mound then, you know what I mean?
People tracking all over the house. And it's like,
So that's what, I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, for sure.
But
For sure.
And
for us.
we gotta get these kids involved, man.
Absolutely.
The young ones, the teenagers, because they pissed. You know what I mean? They really mad. And we need their help because their voice is just as necessary and they feel like they don't have one. And they're the ones that'll, like if ain't nobody listening enough, you know what I mean?
They'll make sure they heard. They'll make sure they're heard.
So, the young.
All right. That was good, man.
Young Gifted in Black.
Yeah, man. Another edition of Young Gifted in Black. Appreciate
Written Quincey.
Yeah, man. Appreciate
y'all, man.
Thanks for the thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta sit back and think on things, and that's all I really wanted. And once again, I always go back to like, this is the reason why I wanted to bring this podcast out, is because I can have a different level of thought process.
Yeah.
Sometimes we always just stick to our own thoughts, almost like Facebook, like, hey, this is how I think, but it's just like, is that all that you can do? Is that all that you're capable of thinking beyond? Do you have a plan beyond that? Do you have action beyond that? Because if your thought level is just, hey, I'm just gonna put out this dope post, that's all you're gonna go to, and that's not gonna create change.
Yeah.
For me, I stay away from Facebook. I try to stay away from
me
Facebook.
too, bro.
Yeah.
Because there's a bigger context, there's a bigger story to tell than just this situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming in and blessing me with what you had to say.
I appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah. For a call to action.
Yeah.
We appreciate that, man.
Right on.
We out of here, man. Thank y'all for watching, man.
Respect.
Hope y'all enjoy it. Peace.